Cristiano Ronaldo's name makes us think of incredible skill and numbers. But actually, behind all those amazing statistics and his almost alien drive, there's a deep psychological makeup that's way more interesting than just raw talent. It's truly complex. This story goes beyond just scoring. It's about the fascinating cognitive quirks, the defining moments he lived through, and the smart ways his brain adapted, all of which really shaped one of history's most captivating sports stars. It's a whole different game. His early life in Madeira was incredibly tough. Poverty and his father's struggles weren't just hurdles. They were actually a furnace that psychologically pushed him from feeling helpless to having immense control over his own life as he grew older. What a shift that was. Moving to Lisbon at 12 brought him a lot of pain. He was often laughed at for his accent and his skinny build, and that constant rejection actually burned a deep, simmering chip on the shoulder into his very being, which became this incredibly powerful psychological engine for him. It fueled everything. That early hardship shaped him profoundly. It actually created this almost endless craving for approval and a deep, almost unhealthy fear of showing any weakness, which then pushed him into an absolutely obsessive chase for being physically and technically the very best. He had to be number one. Ronaldo perfectly shows what deliberate practice means. He's always insisted on specific grueling repetitions in his training, often long after everyone else has left. And this really points to his deep understanding of how you truly build skills. It's a game changer. Remember that story about the ankle weights? At just 16, he wore them during training, even against his coach's wishes. And this really highlights his natural push for those marginal gains long before most people even knew what that phrase meant. He was ahead of his time. He famously won't touch alcohol. This isn't just about strict discipline. It's a direct, almost sacred counterreaction to his father's battle, showing a deep, inner control over his entire life's path. He's steering his own ship. It's more than just simple confidence. What we see is actually a powerful sense of self-efficacy, this unshakable, core belief that he absolutely can achieve his specific goals, and he's proved it over and over. He believes in himself. His achievement motivation is through the roof. He just loves to compete, not simply against other teams or players, but actually against his own past records and literally history itself, always pushing to be better. He's his own toughest opponent. People often see his on-field anger as pure arrogance. But the mind works in a funny way here. What we're actually seeing is usually a sign of his extreme performance perfectionism and a super sharp awareness of what the whole team should be doing. It's about standards. He handles pressure in a truly unique way. Instead of collapsing into panic like many do, Ronaldo seems to transform these huge, make-or-break moments into pure energy for his top performance, and his stats in big knockout games prove it. It's incredible to watch. Ronaldo's focus on goals goes way past just scoring them. It's like he's constantly tweaking and perfecting every single part of his life, from his diet to his sleep to his recovery, all of it carefully designed to serve that one big goal: winning. Winning is everything. That famous CI celebration isn't just a show. It's actually a deep psychological affirmation, a loud, public declaration of his unwavering self-belief that constantly strengthens who he is and how he dominates. He's telling the world, his amazing career length isn't just about his body. What we see is a real sign of his mind's incredible ability to adapt. He completely reinvented himself from a flashy winger to a deadly scorer inside the box, always finding ways to stay efficient as his body changed. That's smart thinking. This kind of change shows he really knows himself. It's a deep metacognitive awareness of how his own skills are shifting, a kind of strategic foresight that honestly, very few top athletes manage to hold onto for 20 years. He sees the future. Remember his penalty miss in the 2008 Champions League final. Despite that huge moment, he immediately bounced back, showing incredible leadership. It really revealed this powerful bounce-back factor, which is a true mark of top-tier mental toughness. He never gives up. He doesn't so much fear failing as he hates playing badly. This is a really important difference. failure is just what happens, but underperformance. That's a mental state he actively fights against with everything he's got. It's all in his head. His rivalry with Messi is actually a huge part of his story. It acts like a really strong social comparison engine, almost pushing both of them to become even greater than they ever could have been if they'd played alone. They made each other better. All that media attention could break most people. For many, constant scrutiny and global adoration would spark imposter syndrome. But Ronaldo, actually, seems to take all that external praise as simple proof that he's exactly who he believes he is. He thrives on it. Ronaldo's leadership is often silent, but powerful. It's a clear type of transformational leadership, where he inspires others not with words, but through his own relentless example and an absolute, unyielding demand for everyone to be excellent. He leads by doing. Off the field, CR7 is more than just a brand. It actually shows a really carefully built psychological image of being completely unbeatable, constantly blurring the boundary between just being a player and being a global icon. He's a phenomenon. They say his body is much younger than his actual age. And it's not just genetics. What we see is a true testament to some incredibly smart neuroadaptive training methods and a truly rigorous approach to his diet. He works hard for it. The pressure he faces could easily break someone. The constant weight of expectation and public scrutiny is immense, but Ronaldo actually seems to flourish here, maybe because he has a naturally high emotional intelligence for handling all that outside pressure. He just handles it. He's really perfected how he focuses his attention. He just filters out all the noise and keeps this incredible, almost laser-like tunnel vision on whatever goal is right in front of him, whether it's a penalty or a header that matters. Nothing shakes him. His long-term performance makes us question burnout theories. It's almost as if his unique resilience to mental exhaustion comes from a continuous, constantly self-feeding cycle of success, which just keeps him going and strong. He's built differently. Cristiano Ronaldo is so much more than just a player. He's actually a living, breathing case study of how genetics, his surroundings, and an absolutely unmatched mental strength all come together in one person. It's truly remarkable. His entire journey gives us amazing lessons. What we learn from him about reaching top performance is that real greatness often gets created in the intense heat of being absolutely obsessed with perfecting yourself. It's a powerful lesson,